How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It is your captain speaking, Captain Crutch, after a long holiday. Sorry guys, I got trapped at home, but I got another celebrity shit talk for you, and we're talking about Josh Duggar. If you're not familiar with Josh Duggar is the oldest son of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, known for their reality television show, 19 Kids and Counting. Their family was a pretty big part of the TLC network for a long time, but back in 2015, Josh caused the family to get canceled because of his inappropriate behavior back a long time ago with his sisters. Yes, this creepo has had experience with this kind of stuff in the past and has gotten no repercussion for it whatsoever, but now the tides have turned and he's getting in trouble. Now, his dad and his mom stand by him, as well as his wife Anna, that none of this is proven to be true, and it's all a big setup and a big hoax, but the FBI and the federal government have pretty big claims and pretty good evidence to put him at the scene and him doing these obscene acts. Now, what I want to ask Josh Duggar, and I know he probably never see this, but this is my personal opinion, how can you have almost seven kids, including the one on the way? He's got 7 kids. How can you be involved with having so many kids and being involved in this lifestyle that you portray to be so humble and so Christian and so everything like that and so pure, and then be with some of these obscene acts that they've been telling you, everybody that you've been a part of? And everybody knows it's because Josh Duggar was raised in a cult that was pretty much proven to be known as a sex cult, which pretty much instituted women were have no rights, where they did nothing but make babies and the men had the control. So I feel like not only was he raised wrong, but he was in a whole environment that completely abstained from everything you do is wrong, and he hid a lot of things and he just slipped through the cracks. Because when he did this to his sisters, when he did his other little allegation that he did, if you want to go look up that, you can go look at that for yourself. But when he got in trouble the first time when he was a kid, when they continued to go get famous after this was all out and people knew about it, anyway, they sent him not to a doctor, not to a psychiatrist, but they sent him to a manual labor camp that Jim Bob's friend owns to build houses and dig pools and dig dishes and then get out and get redeemed. Like, how in the world can that happen? They wonder why this sick man has been involved in this whole scandal of, inappropriate content on the internet. Like, he was literally partitioning his computer, which means he was splitting one computer into like 2 to 3 hard drives so he could look at this content on there. And Josh Duggar, man, that is so sick what you're interested in. I know he wasn't raised in a proper household. Like, everybody has decisions to make, but like, there's something deeply wrong if this man gets away with it, which he will not get away with it. He's going down the river. There's no way Jim Bob and Michelle can get him out of this one. How do they expect Arkansas to respect their family? Yes, their family is known in Arkansas because Jim Bob is also running for office in a vacant Senate seat in Arkansas. I don't know how they expect people to want their family in power, because they're all like trashed upon. They know that they're all crazy. I mean, they can't help it. It's what they were raised in. But this stuff that Josh Duggar is accused of is absolutely sickening, and he deserves to go to jail. People think he's not going to survive in jail. He probably won't. People with his charges usually don't last long in jail. I mean, the only reason he hadn't been put in jail already is because the pandemic literally made it where things got pushed back, and like, he literally started court Friday, and they're pretty much not wrapping stuff up, but it's moving on pretty quick. I mean, they've been investigating this for quite a while. There's not much that he can do to get out of this one, and I feel like he's panicking when anybody's sitting in the courtroom with your family and they're literally telling all this evidence and people actually know what you've been a part of. Like, he's literally hiding in the courtroom because he knows he's screwed up. I want to know y'all's people's opinion in the comments, because this is my opinion on Josh Duggar. Not only did his family do him wrong, but he's also sick in the head, and this is completely a product of the whole system that he was brought up in. I feel like if he wasn't brought up in this crazy ass cult religion, he wouldn't have been like this. He might have been. That doesn't justify what he does. Like, his family has no part in this. Like, he was a sicko already. I mean, he got caught on Ashley Madison and everything like that. Come on. But this is a product of the IBLP. Like, this is what happens when people don't get proper education and proper lifestyle skills and stuff like that. Like, this is definitely a prime example of what you don't want your kids to turn out to be. Like, take a look at this and take a look at the IBLP and be like, this is why you don't want to do what you want to do, because you're going to end up like Josh Duggar. Like, not necessarily everybody's going to make that decision, but Josh Duggar definitely made some pretty poor decisions, and I think it was due to his upbringing and also him not being very smart in his own decision making. But how can you do that when you, have kids of your own? Like, it's sickening to know what he was involved in. Can't even talk about it that much because you'll get demonetized and get in trouble on the internet. But I mean, if you do your research, you can see what he did. Everything's coming out. There's no way he's getting out of this. They're trying his habitual offender, and the only defense was the flash drive defense of he couldn't possibly put that on the computer, somebody else did. And then they tried to say he wasn't smart enough to partition the computer into different hard drives because he didn't know how to do it. He wasn't tech savvy. But then he's got people on the stand saying that, oh yeah, Josh talked about how to do that. Like, he knows how to do it. He's a liar. This whole family is protecting a monster to try to keep their family name, the Duggars, in the limelight, to keep it non-stained, because not only does his family cause a bunch of controversy, Jim Bob's family, the Duggars, their son's in trial, they have other kids that speak out against their family and stuff like that, but not only, they don't want the name to go bad because they make so much money for the IBLP, and Jim Bob pretty much runs his own cult. Because they have people from all over the world come to Arkansas to live with the Duggars, to live by their ways, because they've made so much headway for that cult they're in. They claim they're not associated with, but they have been proven to be associated with it. So, people were a little suspicious in Arkansas. They're not fans of the Duggars. They hate them, and rightly so. If you support the Duggars after all this stuff come out in court, you need to reevaluate yourself, because some of this stuff is absolutely sickening. If you go back and read the transcript, you can't even talk about half the stuff that was on that computer. And they claim it wasn't even there. How can you do that? That is sickening to me, and just sad to see that somebody can be that famous and be under the nose of so many people, and your family still try to back you up. That is crazy. But like I said, it's the product of the IBLP and the product of his family. Shame on his parents. Shame on the biggest whole proponent of this is shame on Josh Duggar. He's a sick man, and I hope he go to jail. This is my opinion on celebrity shit talk. Hope you enjoyed it. It's been Captain Crutch. I'll see you in another one.